using the humblest and simplest of tools, combining textures and colors, fabrics and fiber. We tell the stories of our lives one stitch at a time. Welcome to Antique Needleworkers. Hello and welcome to Antique Needleworkers. My name is Shellie and this is my channel about cross stitch and all my crafty endeavors, and I'm so glad that you've joined me here today. If this is your first time here, I thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that while you're here today that you will find some inspiration in your making and just enjoy yourself while you're here. And if you are a return subscriber, I thank you so much for coming time and time again. Well, hello my friends and welcome today. I'm so glad to be back, and I have a plethora of different things to show you and just catch you up on what I've been doing since I saw you last. Today is a dreary day. It was actually a perfect time to be inside and film. I can see through all the windows that it's raining right now, so no better place to be than visiting with you. So what have I been up to? Well, since I saw you last, I will tell you that I have been diligently working on my piece at the Cincinnati Museum Center that I'm reproducing. That will be my lecture piece and my kit for the Queen City Sampler Guild. It will become available in May when the newsletter comes out. And so the lecture and everything is in August. But of course, I need lead time to put together the kit. So they will become available May when the newsletter comes out from the Guild. And so I am almost 100% done. And so I am trying to get that finished. This was not something that I could send out to my model stitcher on top of my other things. This was important that I be the one to, this could not go out because I don't get to see this piece. It's not like all of my samplers here that belong to me. I only have audience with her when I'm at the museum. And although I have over 350 up close photographs front and back of the sampler, you know, as I charted it, I never would execute a stitch that I didn't get it charted, settle it in my heart, then revisit the pictures, then revisit and work at the museum, and be rest assured that every stitch was exactly where it needed to be. Because let me just tell you something. If you chart something from a photograph, it can be deceiving. And some people will say, oh, well, you know, I'm looking at the antique and in that picture, and I'm looking at this, and it looks as though there's a mistake. Well, it very much could not be a mistake, because the problem is looking at the antique, unless it's in pristine condition, you can look at the pictures all you want, and a stitch can be hiding very close, tucked in. And so I think that I've counted the linen threads in this so many times that I think that I could tell you what is on what thread, on what corner of this sampler, because she's not in perfect condition. That's how we as a guild became acquainted with this sampler, is because she needs restoration. She actually is torn in the middle. And but nonetheless, there was only one word, and it was so funny because it was the verse on it, Bible verse. And I kept trying to line it in because it's the only place where there was missing anything. And I counted the threads in horizontally left and right, and I counted the threads in vertically top and bottom. And it was like, why is this not lining up when I put this word in there? Because I knew the Bible verse off the top of my head. And so I went to scripture, and there was a separation of the word. It was made, it's one word, but when it's scripturally written in the time of the canonization of scripture, at that time, this particular word, it's the word tomorrow. And it's to-morrow. It's not like we in 2026 put tomorrow, T-O-M. It's to-morrow. And when I went back with that knowledge, it fit right into place. So it's interesting. So, you know, I don't trust photographs. I will never trust a photograph when I am reproducing, because the photographs lie. The linen doesn't. And so, yeah, so I've spent a tremendous amount of time, because I go and overlap and I overlap and I overlap, because, you know, there's those hidden things. There's the, in homespun linen from the time, it's even more, you know, it may have a very, very thin linen thread and you not see it, because there's just no way without microscopic photography to see those things. And so I have spent a tremendous, this is the most inordinate amount of time that I've spent with a sampler reproducing it, because it's not my collection. I can't eat with it, sleep with it, go to my office with it. So, but let me just tell you, that has garnered so much fun. I am become really close with the curator, and now I've got the historic librarian involved, and the history part of this is so much fun. As a matter of fact, I was working this last week, and they all came down. They were supposed to be working on something else, and because I had found something in a historical book about the family, because it's a very prominent family, we all were beating the dog trail on trying to find a relative in my narrative. And so it was just so much fun. And I have a stack of books. It is part of my acquisitions this week that I'm going to show you. You know, one of the neat things is my curator that I'm working with, she shares books with me, and I'm like, oh, you're making my brain explode. You talk my language. I feel right at home in the midst of all of this stuff. I told him the other day when I was there, I said, hey, you go on and go have your lunch. I'm going to set up a pop-up mattress, and I think I'm just not going to leave, and I'll just take care of the collections room for you. So anyway, so I've spent a lot of time there, and I'm looking forward to bringing this to you. And I've already decided what's next in the collection there that I would like to reproduce. And so we're talking about future. And so I'm really excited about that. So I've been doing that, and I'm going to show you in my whips what I've been doing. I've got a menagerie. I have cross stitch, crochet, knitting, hand quilting, machine quilting, and I don't have any needlepoint this week. This time, because I didn't have enough time. So, but I have some neat acquisitions that I have here. Some are antique, some are new, some are tools, and I can't wait to share them with you. So that's a little update. I mean, my whole world has been revolving around my museum piece. And so, yeah, that's what I have really been doing. And then, of course, what's sitting on the table. So why don't we just get to it? So I had a new start, and you're gonna laugh. I'm gonna show it to you first because it's so minuscule, and I still have the needle connected to it and the thread. And so, but I wanted to make myself start it because it's one of my favorite things that I saw. My friend Rebecca from My Sister's Sampler did an original design called Patriot Math, and this was at Market this year. And I just love it, this mathematical chart. and it's also very patriotic and in celebration of our this year's 250th sesquicentennial. I don't even know if I say that right anymore. So the 250th celebration of America, and so I wanted to get a start on this, and I am using all the called for. It's 3 colors, and they are DMC 815, 823, and 3865, and I did the smallest of starts. And I'm doing it on 36 count golden pear, and it's one of Shakespeare's Peddler's Boys linen. And look at my big start. I started a little line, but I got started. And so now it can live in my stack of things that I want to work on. And even if I just drop a thread, I got started. So I thought it was funny. It's just probably 30 stitches, and I got called away. I started it in the morning, and a grandchild came early because they're all homeschooled, and they got their stuff done really, really early. And so I was right in the middle of stitching, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get the top line of this done and show it to all the people. And yeah, no. Those grandchildren knock on the door, we stop. So that's a start, okay? I started it. So it was something I did do. So Patriots Math, my sister's sampler. Very beautiful. You need just some linen in 3 colors, red, white, and blue for this. And I'm so excited to see this come to life. It's, going to be pretty simple, the grid system, and then putting in the numbers. So, yeah. So if I just even get a thread in here and there, it'll just add up. So I worked on that. As well, I had another new start, and I showed you that I had purchased this at Market, and that is Hannah Whitaker Thorne 1821 by Cross Stitch Antiques. I love this piece, and I got all of the Glorianas to go with. Gloriana had a pack at Market. The called for what is all Glorianas and 1 Belle Soie silk. So there is 1 addendum, and it is ironwood. Gloriana Ironwood replaces limestone by Belle Soie. So if you got an entire Gloriana palette for it, there was only 1 Belle Soie, and that was limestone, and it's replaced by ironwood by Gloriana. So aren't they scrumptious? Look at all these. Aren't these? Oh. And Catherine did such a good job. This is such a pretty sampler. And I had thought, I'm just going to do a section of it. And of course, I talked myself into the whole thing. And I am doing mine on 37 count corn tassel by Legacy Linens. And I got a morning start. It's not ironed, I'm sorry, but I got a little morning start the other morning, and I'll show you. It is this top corner right here. It's this cartouche. Yeah, the corner cartouche. And so I got a little bit done and started her and got her going. And I had a gift delivered to me this week, which is a project bag, and you're gonna see it, and this is gonna live in it. So right now, this is how I have this. I just had it laying with everything like this because it's waiting to go in its project bag, but I want to show it to you first. So that was Hannah Whitaker Thorne 1821 by Cross Stitch Antiques, all the called for Gloriana, including 1 extra Gloriana to replace the Belle Soie, 1 color, 1 thread over 2 linen threads. And my Patriots Math is 1 thread over 2 linen threads as well. So I worked on that, and then I did a little work on my Tetelestai. And this is by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. And I am doing this on Smoky White by Zweigart. And I am using, I have a big old hank of color 945, I believe. Yeah, 945 of Soie d'Alger. And this is how much I got done. I did a little more here, and I worked a little more in here. And this is 2 silk threads over 2 linen threads. Just got a little bit of work done on it. I did a little bit on a lot of things, and so you'll see that. I had talked last time, I had talked about this, about how Quaint Rose Needle Arts did an addendum to Telestai, or a companion piece, and that is He Is Risen. And I have it in the same bag, hoping that I'll have enough silk to do that. The smoky white Zweigart is 32 count. And I think that I'm going to use, I have some antique white Zweigart in 36 count, and I think that I will do He Is Risen on it. So, but this is 2 threads over 2 linen threads, and I'm just going to keep all of this in this bag, and I should cut a piece of linen and throw it in here for He Is Risen. That way I'm ready to go when I work on it. So I worked a little on that. Now the 2 next pieces I did a lot more work on. Let's see, what am I going to show you first? This is in my sweet bag. That was a gift to me at the retreat in Oklahoma. And I had showed you that I have been working on my Charlotte by Giulia Puntini Antici, and this is a pincushion doll. I want to tell you that I am totally ready. I bought all of the finishing supplies, and I bought the silk and the velvet ribbon. I bought some silk ribbon too, because I have moved up the next layer, and I put the skeleton in. All I have to do is put the flowers to finish the middle row. I am doing this on 32 count Belfast linen antique white. Do excuse my non-ironing, I apologize. So the skirt, we are almost up to the top. Let's revisit where I'm at. I'm here. I will have one more divider band and then that top, and then I'll be finished. I'll tell you this much. When I finish her, I am going to do it. I'm going to do a video in my Patreon. If you are not a member of Antique Needleworkers Patreon, go on over to Patreon and join. It will be for the schoolgirls, so you will have to be a paid member, but I am going to walk through finishing Charlotte when I'm done. And so I'm really excited to get her done. Like I had said before, I have like 9 of these kits, 7 or 9. I probably have 8. I can't remember. I think I have 9. I can't remember. But so Charlotte will be my first finish and fully finish when I do her. And I want to share the process with you because I am in love with these things. That's why I bought so many kits, but I'm not allowing myself to buy any more kits until I go, well, yeah. I say that, but I want to get Charlotte done, but I want to finish her because I want to encourage you. So many of you commented on the last video that you were obsessed just like me. And you know, you can be obsessed and not have gotten there yet like me, but I am going to pop in one afternoon next week, and I am going to, because of talking on the last video, you all had said yes, you wanted to see. So I'm going to just do a small video and show you my kits and show you my porcelain dolls, and you'll see what could be coming up in the future. But if you want to watch me finish Charlotte, jump on over to my Patreon. There's a link in my description box. Join, but you have to be a schoolgirl to join to see this. This will be exclusive content for my schoolgirls, where I walk you through my process of putting her together, and maybe it will spark your ingenuity to stitch a a pincushion doll, and I really do, sometime in the future, I really do want to design one of these myself, but it would be kind of smart for me to get one fully finished first and maybe work on some of those other ones. The next one I want to do is the cherry that was in Punch Needle and Primitives last issue. If you didn't watch my last video, go back and see that. And she's a little girl, and I have another one. Her name is Patrizia, and she's another mini one. So I cannot wait to do those little ones. So let's see. Here's what she looks like. I'm right here. I'm doing 1 silk thread over 2 linen threads. And I have showed you in the past, I will show you again. I have a full designer ring of Trainway silks, and I just chose my own. You needed 2 reds, 2 purples, a navy, a gold, and a green. And I am using number 12 and number 42 in my reds. I am using 957 and 958 for my purples. I am using 215 for my green, 9514 for my gold, and 318 for my navy blue. I will tell you, let me pull this up again. I bought 2 things. I went to Hobby Lobby because they tell you to finish it with Dupioni silk. And you know what? I just can't seem to find, I don't want to just purchase, I wanted to pick it out in person. And it's showing this kind of mauve-ish kind of color, maybe a reddish kind of color. And I found a very beautiful pinky mauve silk at Hobby Lobby and a navy blue. I'm leaning towards the navy blue, but we shall see. I'm sure when I talk during my assembly, by then I will have made up my mind. It's probably going to be navy blue because blue's my favorite color. And the doll has navy blue, and I see, I'm talking myself right into it. And like where the bows are, I'm considering putting maybe some gold beads and to accentuate. We shall see. But anyway, watch my Patreon because I am going to do it there. I'm going to walk through the process. I'm just going to finish her with you, and you can see how I do it. And maybe it will give you some confidence to do one yourself. So hop on over to my Patreon. Okay, and I worked on that, and I worked on one more cross stitch piece. Let's see. This is a piece that I borrowed from my friend, my sweet precious friend Ruth Cole, and it's Cordelia Ransbury 1847. And this is by Linda Danielson from Samplers Remembered, and it is a goodie. And it's not as big as you think. I love the dark linen. I'm using all the called for colors, and I am using the called for linen. As a matter of fact, I've got a dangling thread, so please excuse it. It is 35 count Weeks Dye Works Havana. I'm using 1 thread over 2 linen threads, and I got the middle frame almost done. That's what I worked on. I was doing all the satin stitches that make up this frame. So I have a mistake in the corner, and I had more going across, but I had to pick out, I was sleepy and satin stitching. So I had to pull out. So, but I had it almost all the way across. But so that's okay. We frog and move on. 1 thread over 2 linen threads, all the called for colors. Okay, so I really, because I've borrowed this from my friend, I would like to get this done. I'm dropping thread, excuse me. And I dropped thread before. I dropped my needle out of Tetelestai as well. So I would like to get Ruthie her pattern back. So I've been working on it, and Linda did a beautiful job on this. And so, yeah, the colors are calling my name. So I worked on that. So when you borrow something, it puts it as a precedence, doesn't it? So that's all my cross stitch that I worked on. Let me put my needle back onto Tetelestai so I don't say, hey, where's that silken needle? Or sit on it by that, you know, accidentally. Okay, did I say for Cordelia, 1 thread over 2 linen threads and 35 count Weeks Dye Works Havana. Okay, so I worked on that. And then let's see, I'm going to move on to some other projects that I worked on. So if you're not interested in crochet, knitting, and quilting, just fast forward if you want to see the things that I've purchased. But right now, I'm going to move on to that. I think I'll start with my knitting, and I have 2 projects in this bag. I had an old knitting project that that was not in a basket, and I finished 1 sock. So I just had to finish the toe. And so now I can move on to number 2. The yarn, I have the heel, toe, and cuff yarn here, but the other yarn, I got it at Hobby Lobby, and it was Patton's sock. It was, it's been so many years ago that I bought it. And I actually have another pair of socks that I knit. I actually showed me darning, and it was 12 years ago I bought this yarn, because that's what I said in the video was the sock. I remember I showed you how to darn a sock. Well, that's what reminded me that I had cast on another pair of these. And so I just went and finished the sock. But so this is a Patton or a Croy. No, it's a Croy. But I don't know the colorway. And the other ball is upstairs, because I had this and the ball that I finished. They're 50-gram balls and I grabbed them. But what I did my toes and my heels with for this one was, and I don't believe that they have this anymore, but do check. This was at Hobby Lobby, and I was kind of shocked because it's a fingering weight, and it's 50% merino, 30% nylon, which is so important that there be nylon, especially if you're going to knit a sock, and then 20% acrylic. And it was called Color Idol is the name of the type of yarn, but I don't think they had this in like 6 colors, and I have a basket. I bought 2 skeins each of every color they had, because I was in such shock that they had a Hobby Lobby Yarn Bee yarn that was a wool nylon blend. And so, and I thought, oh, that would, I like if I'm going to do color work or something like that. I like a paint box. And so I was suckered in. I was in Hobby Lobby. So, but I don't know that they carry the Color Idol, IDYLL. And the color name of this is Orangeology. But that is how the name of it. So maybe you could find some online. Maybe they still carry it. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I never bought it again, because I bought 2 of every one of these skeins. And these skeins are all 3 ounces, 415 yards. You know, like I said, it made for great heel, toe, and cuff, didn't it? And so I did my Shellie heel, and just a vanilla sock. I do think that is Croy. Yeah, Croy sock yarn, but I don't even know if they have that colorway anymore. It's been around forever. This is the other pair of socks I did. I didn't do a heel, toe, and cuff. The one that I just showed you recently, that I darned, it was all just a solid. So anyway, so when I cast on the other one, I'll tell you the name of it upstairs if I have the ball band still, because I'm going to grab the other one and get the other one started. Okay, and the other sock that I've been working on is, if you do not know, my bestie Carrie is doing, there's only one more live that's going to be, but she's been doing a sock knit along. You could be like me and be a sock knitter and just be knitting along, or you could have you ever wanted to learn to knit a whole sock? She's done a beautiful job. Go to Tiger Lily Designs Patreon, and and all of the lives are there. All of her PDFs are there for her Tiger Cub members. And she has done a beautiful job. I was on with her last week because she used my Shellie's heel. And so I was on there and talking to the peoples during the live, and that is, all of that is on her Patreon. And so since the other day, I worked onto the foot of my sock as well. So I got one done, and I'm moving along on this one. It's just a vanilla sock with a 12 1x1 rib, Shellie's heel, which there's a video in my playlist. And I had said last time, this has been in my stash forever. It's a fingering weight purple. I don't even know, because I balled it up, and silly me, I did not put the thing there. But this is from Leap of Faith Yarns, and this was Robin from Robin's Nest Knits did the bag, and Leap of Faith Yarns did this beautiful My Funny Valentine. It was their Valentine's release, and so I used that for my Carrie's sock knit along. So I've been working on this sock as well. And so that concludes my knitting. Let me put this to the side. Oh, let me put this other sock in here too. I just crammed it in here because it could just sit in one spot. Okay, the next thing that I worked on is I got a few more repeat rows of my Call the Midwife crochet blanket. Let me take my hook out. H hook, using I Love This yarn in the color Ivory from Hobby Lobby, and it's so durable, so it's really great to do a blanket with, and it just continues to grow and grow. So I have done 2 more rows of the boxes. So this full repeat that creates a box, I did this whole row of boxes and this whole row of boxes, and now I'm set up with the divider band to do some more. And this is going to be a throw blanket on my couch for my Florida house, and I love it so much. This is so wonderful, and I don't even keep the pattern with me. The beautiful thing, when you find something that you like, you can do it from memory, but also if you can read your crochet or read your knitting, that is an important thing, because then you can look back and you can, that's what I do, is like, oh, okay, I need to do that. I just look at my crochet and read my crochet stitches, and I'm able to move on. I brought some pictures. This is a baby size version of this blanket, completed with a pretty, my pattern has that pretty scalloped edge with it. I will put a link to the Ravelry to where you can get this pattern if you would like to crochet the Call the Midwife blanket. Isn't it pretty? But I'll put that link in the description box for you. But I also wanted to show you some future plans. There is a wonderful channel called Ophelia Talks, and I happen to really, really like her. I love her English accent especially, but she is a wonderful crochet channel on YouTube here, and she did a blanket a long time ago. As a matter of fact, I've had this pattern for a very long time. Let me see where Anya, let me see if there's a copyright date. I don't see a copyright date, but I know I've had this pattern for a really long time, and it's called Ode to Anna. I think that was her grandmother. Now I want to show you, this was a project someone did this whole blanket, and I'm going to give you the full disclosure of what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do this whole blanket this way, but you're going to see what it is that I like. Okay, so if you look down here, doesn't that look like my Call the Midwife right there, except for it just has a dot in the center? And then she goes into the more of a checkered back and forth in this section, and then she's got all this lace here. I want to tell you, all I want to do is a blanket like this. And and I'll show you the up close section. Let me turn the pattern so you can't see it, but see, this is where she's showing how to do that section. Let me get this flatter. And what's so interesting is she's using a yarn, and it's a Stylecraft yarn. It's a yarn from the UK. You see that? I just want to do a whole blanket like that because I love my Call the Midwife, but I think this would be denser because it therefore making it a little warmer because the flowers make a much more open space in the center of the blocks, and this has just got the dot. And so the next crochet blanket I do, I think I'm going to do a full blanket in this repeat of the Ode to Anna. And funny thing, you see this right here, the Stylecraft yarn? I had got this blanket, years ago, at least 10 years ago. The pattern, it's this mandalas. And I ordered all, it was from someone had designed it in the UK, and they had used the Stylecraft yarn. And so that yarn right here, that's duck egg. I've got a ton of it in the studio already, and it is so beautiful. Everybody knows that Mountain Mist is my favorite floss color from Seminol Arts in the whole wide world. I would stitch everything with a touch of Mountain Mist in it, and that duck egg looks just like it. And so when I finish this blanket, that is on the docket for my next blanket to crochet. I love, it's like vanilla sock knitting. Repeat crochet blanket. Crocheting is just as fulfilling. And so that's something that I would like to do. I will show you something that it's in here in the pattern. Let me pull this up. So she shows how to cross stitch yourself a tag, but she also showed how she took, I'm trying to find where that is. Okay. And I'm trying to not show you this pattern, but they like eyelet stitched into them. Can you see that? Yeah, they took some yarn and eyelet stitched into some of those squares. Wouldn't that be neat? It's kind of like crochet and cross stitch all together right there. So I don't know, we'll see, but that's not, I will not start this, but it is on the docket. You see I do have the pattern here. I will put a link for this pattern below as well for you. And as well, I will try to find the Stylecraft. I might need to make sure I have some more of that. And it's a great acrylic yarn from the UK. It's like a number 3 weight. It's a DK. So, I'll try to find you the duck egg as well for that and put that link below. But so that's future plans. And then, okay, and then I have quilting. Okay, so I came out here. I had bought some layer cakes from Carrie. She was destashing, and she had some Sewing Bird by Aditya Sitar laundry basket quilts. She had this when she did her churn dash along. She had bought some extra things, and she had some layer cakes. And so my son-in-law, married to my only daughter, Erin, Veda's daddy, his name is Jason. He has definitely been persuaded to be like my daughter and myself and be a quilt lover. And so Jason has never got a quilt from Mama Fry. And so I want to make him a quilt. And so even though there's some florals in this, it's so overtoned in creams and browns and blues that even with the flowers in it, it won't really, let me just show you a little bit of what some of the pattern looks like in these. And when I show it to you, you'll say, oh, that doesn't look feminine at all. So it has all of these overtures in it. And he'll think of me every time he sees the spools or these scissors or what have you. But I came out and I decided the quilt that I am going to make him. I cut an entire layer cake up into 5-inch squares. And I'm going to be doing the disappearing 9 patch. And this is what that looks like. And this is really simple. Years ago, one of the old ladies who, you know, I talk about, my sweet elderly ladies that sewed for me for years in the sewing ministry, and Marge Radcliffe showed me this pattern years ago, the disappearing 9 patch. It is super, super simple. And anyway, I am going to be making Jason. Do you see that? That doesn't look at all feminine, does it? It looks male-centric. And so I came out and I decided that what pattern I was going to do for him. I did my first prep here. I bought 3 layer cakes from Carrie, so I will have more than enough. I'm not going to make him a king size, although my daughter thinks all quilts should be king size. If my daughter wants a king size quilt, she needs to come over here and make one herself. I'll go queen, but that, you know, because time, you know. So Mama's got a whole bunch of people. So there we go. So I got some prep done. I may show this on my Patreon as well, how to do a disappearing 9 patch. Let me know if that's an interest to you. I would love to show you if so. The other thing that I did work, and I got, I finished another block for my Manx quilt. This has not been ironed. But I did one block one evening. This is what one looks like that's ironed and looks appropriate. But as you know, I am doing these for my, this is all by hand, no machine. And each block is completely finished front and back when you do this process. I talked about this on other videos. And I am doing this for a quilt for my Florida house. Let me pull up. I've got even more done. But I've got quite a few done. And then this I put together. So here's 4 put together. And so I got one block done the other night. I sat with it. And then I set this up to begin another one. And I became so sleepy that I just sat it down. But isn't that the beauty of a hand basket? We just put our work basket of whatever it is next to the couch. And if we've chosen wisely something that for evening time, it's something that you can fall asleep and then just pick back up again. So I worked on that. And those are all the projects that I have worked on since I saw you last. And so, okay, let me put this down. And I'll begin to show you. I got some gifts. This is not a gift. This was sent to me. I've been looking all over for this. This is for a design. Needle Bling Designs, Teresa, and sent me some Needle Bling suede. I had seen at market. I went up to see them. I love Teresa Curry, and she has been so good to me with being a custom linen dyer. And so I went up and I checked out some linens, and Teresa, I told her I wanted some of that because I want to design something that's going to be in the future. And so she sent me some linen, and so I received it. And then my sweet friend, Lady Huzzah Presents, Lisa Duffin, just went on a wonderful, wonderful vacation to Portugal. And she was there a couple weeks with her daughter. Her daughter came over from Germany for a week, and her husband got some downtime. They had a beautiful time. And Lisa bought Carrie and I a gift. First of all, she sent me this sweet card. Thanks, Lise. And then for our knitting, which I should put that extra pair of socks in this, she went into a shop and found these beautiful bags. She bought mine in blue because that's my favorite color. And then she bought one for Carrie. I think Carrie's in gold because they didn't have pink. And then she bought, I think, a red one for herself. But she bought this for our knitting because we're all knitters. And so thanks, Lise. I love it. It's so pretty. But you know what I love the most? That you even thought about me. And that is just so kind. What a sweet friend. So thank you for that, Lise. Okay, let me put that to the side. And then, if you are not familiar with the Instagram account, Half Pone Creek, you need to be. Christy and her sister are just, their aesthetic is so beautiful. And she was showing some bags one day that she was putting for sale. And I said, me, please. And it was sold. And so she immediately messaged me back and said, Shellie, I just want to make you a bag. And I was like, you don't have to do that. I'll buy the bag from you. She said, no, I want to make you a bag. And her attention to detail is so exquisite. And so Christy made this bag for me and sent it to me. And I'm so touched by that. And it's just so well made, beautiful fabric. Even the zipper is such a good zipper. The attention to detail. Let me also show you this. This was what wrapped the tissue paper. You don't think I'm throwing that away. This is gorgeous. This tag. It says Stitch. And so she had taken this jute, and the way that she hooked this to this bag, it was just, again, if you're not following Half Pone Creek on Instagram, you need to be. And then she sent me this beautiful, sweet card. Thank you so much, Christy. What a beautiful, beautiful person. And this is what I'm going to be putting my Hannah Whitaker thorn in from Cross Stitch Antiques. So, but I wanted to show you this first. And so it's getting ready to live. And then I think I'm going to decorate in here somehow. Maybe hook this right there. I want it someplace where I see it all the time. So pretty, and nothing goes to waste, not even the tag. And so that is another gift that I received. Okay, now let's move into acquisitions. Again, my friend Carrie, Tiger Lily Designs, she has some great stuff on her website, and we all know that I'm a shepherdess, and so I'm very, very fond of sheep. And would you look at the knitting bag? I mean, seriously, come on. That face, I could kiss those cheeks of that sheep all day long. Let me tell you, when I got it, I had to go out and kiss a sheep. It was so pretty. And so this is where I believe this came from. This is Pearl. You know, that's funny because my ewe is named, my ewe, female sheep, her name is Lacey. I named her after lace weight yarn. This is Pearl, I guess named after a pearl stitch. But I think Carrie has some more pearl bags on her website, so do jump on over there. I will put a link to her Patreon and to her her website so that you can check this out. And the reason why I mentioned both of those things is because anytime now, Carrie has started this very neat thing that when you join into her any alongs or her teachings, she's done 2 of these. She has created these patches. I love them. I feel like a little girl again getting my patch. And so I am doing her birthday stitch along. And so for her 50th stitch along, that's where she started with this idea. She created this patch. And so I don't know, maybe I'll start putting them on the back of my pearl bag. I want to put these on a bag that I'll see often. So she had some issues with the bags that she was doing, and I didn't end up getting the bag because she had some issue with the maker. Long story. Anyhow, you know how that goes. But so anyway, she did one for her sock knit along too. And so if you're not part of her Patreon doing her alongs, knit along, quilt along, whatever, stitch along, I don't know about you, but I know about me. I love these. And so anyway, go get you part of these stitch alongs. I think you can actually buy one of these. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, you can. So anyway, let me put these in this bag. I don't want to lose mine because these need to get on a bag ASAP. Okay, so that's that. And then I had some things come from my very favorite box maker. One, Jude from, well, I have two favorite box makers. Timbo's, they make different types of boxes. Timbo's is the shaker box makers in Australia, and then Old Colonial Boxes, Adam and Kelly. They make other kind of burl boxes, but and I love them both. So I don't want to just. Anyhow, I think I just walked myself into a ditch. But anyway, this number 3 box I got in because of future plans. That's all I'm going to say. Future plans. So I contacted Jude and I said, Jude, I need a number 3. And so he got right on it and got me a number 3 to America. And this is for future plans. Pay attention. Something coming in the future. And then another future plan. Can't say much, but look at the new. And now not only do they have the burnished Timbo's logo on there, Jude will also sign and burn, he will burn in his name on the box. So I said, any boxes I get from here on out, I wish I could have came up with that idea. I want Jude's on all these things. I got acquainted with Jude because his sweet family, hello to all of you, Mama Timbo, Daddy Timbo, all of you. I love them. They are a precious family, precious, precious family. And they are all in. Mama is a cross stitcher. Daughter does the social media. Jude and Daddy are making boxes. It's the most beautiful example of a beautiful family. And I'd love to support that. And so, yeah, I went off on La La Land. Anyway, I told Jude what my thought was, and he executed it with excellence. Oh, I was talking about his signature. Yeah, I wish I would have come up with his signature. I want a signature on all my boxes. And so anyway, my very first Timbo is sitting right there because it will have my, my Mary Cox piece inside of it. And they watched me. And then he said, I want to make your box for your Mary Cox piece. I was in shock. See, they're just beautiful people. And so are Adam and Kelly from Old Colonial. That is the greatest part of our community, is just the talented, kind, giving, beautiful families that make up our industry. I love being connected to it. So anyway, future plans, keep your eyes open, okay? So I got that. What else did I get? Okay, I had ordered a piece of 36 count Scarborough Fair Tabby Cat linen from Hobby House Needleworks. David and Kathy Mills, the owners, are such precious people, love them dearly. And this is a piece of Scarborough Fair, and it arrived. It's a lovely color. I wonder what I could put on that. I don't know. You never know. It might be something personal. It might be something plans. But I saw that there was a new color a bit back, and I put an order in for it, and so it finally arrived. So, but that comes, I believe Tabby Cat comes from England. Nicola Parkman uses Tabby Cat a tremendous amount. So, yeah, very good linen. So I got that. Something I wanted to show you that I forgot to show you last time. I had said I was going to show it to you, and I never got up and went and got it. I had talked to you about how I had got a visit from two Chicks Stitchery to my room, and since then I used their linen to do the egg cups, which is a free pattern that I put. The pattern is Spring is in the Air, and I did 4 little designs and then mounted them in egg cups, and the linen came in this box. And the owner of Two Chicks Stitchery came, and I had a line of people, and she so graciously waited on the couch. She wanted to hand me this, and it's just beautiful, presentation. And I will tell you that I left the box as is to show you, except for I did eat one Rice Krispie treat. But so this is how this came, and there were several, there were 4, oh no, there was more than that. I think I do have Old World in here. I do, thank you, I'm so happy. So she wrote me a beautiful card and brought this to my room. There are 4 different linens that she presented. This is the Peachy Keen that I said was so gorgeous. And then Chai Latte, Old World, and this, you can see, this is, I chunked right into it. I wanted to use it immediately and put something on it. That free design is on my Patreon. You can hop over and get it. I did the Spring is in the Air on Old World, and then there's Rogue. So you see, she knew my palette. She even knew she's so judicious. She paid attention. I'm a 36 girl. Everything came in 36. She picked the palette, the neutral palette, but I love that she brought me this pink. I want to do something on this pink. So pretty. And then the box was wrapped with this pretty little charm, that handmade charm, and she put a little, I need to give this to a grandchild immediately because grandchild wanted it, and I said, no, I have to show it. And then 2 Rice Krispie treats. So after I'm done videotaping, I'm gonna have a treat. Yeah, I ate one of them at market because one night we were so tired, we ate hummus and crackers from the refrigerator, and I ate a Rice Krispie treat and passed out. So anyway, so those, you can find 2 Chicks Stitchery. Let me write a note to myself. 2 Chicks Stitchery. I'm gonna put you a link to her Etsy shop in the description box. And so I said I was gonna show you that, and I did not want to leave that out. I got a few magazines in. Well, I like everything. I got just Cross Stitch magazine in. This is the spring issue. No, this is the summer 2026 issue. And there's some beautiful things in there. There is a stitch along piece that I know Sambry Stitches was part of. It's on page 27. Let's turn to it. There was a handful of designers that were joined together called Tapestry of 12. Let me see if all their names are here. They are. Let me tell you who they are. Amanda Berry of Cobweb and Rose, Andrea Betts of Flossy Fox Shop, Simone Desembro and Mello of December Stitches, Amanda Elliott of Haunted Stitches, Michelle Garrett of Bendy Stitchy, Katarina Holland of Sprouting Lupine, D.H. Morris of Cozy D.H., Gretchen Myers of Noc de Flora Designs, Jen Nelson of The Stitch Crypt, Tracy Richards of Wrought Iron Stitchery, Michelle Young of Witch Garden Crafts. Wait a minute, where is Sambry? I know she was in here. Rebecca Murphy, right there. Rebecca, I lost it. Rebecca Murphy of Sambry Stitches. Now, it was right in front of me. But this is the piece that's in here, and I'm so proud of all of them. Look how they put that together. And this is the section that's in the summer issue, and I think there was this is part 2. So the spring issue had part 1. So yes, go check that out. And but of course, there's always wonderful things, wonderful inspiration in there. One of my favorite magazines in the entire universe, the next 2 magazines. This one is Piecework. I love all this sashiko that they're showing in this issue, but they've got a little bit of everything. I was talking, funny thing, and I remembered I wanted to tell you this. There is a pattern in here for a reticule. Remember I told you last time when I showed you the Mason linens and that beautiful greenish color, and she called it reticule, and I said it was a bag, a purse type of bag. This is what a reticule looks like. There you go. So anyway, there is a pattern for that in here. There's talks about Sashiko, oh, I love A Drunkard's Path, and they're talking about the Drunkard's Path quilt. Any type of handwork is in piecework. They have some crewel work embroidery, which I am very excited about. You're going to see in one of my acquisitions. They even talked about a pocket. I'm studying pockets like it's nobody's business. You know me, I love to study. I want to learn about all the things. And so anyway, piecework. This is their, oh, did they cover it up? Is this the summer issue? Hold on, oh, it is the summer 2026 issue. I pulled my sticker off from where it was mailed to me. Then the other magazine that I just fawn over is Inspiration. Gorgeous, just gorgeous stuff. Look at this stuff. Oh, stunning, stunning stuff. A token of friendship from Leslie Wilkin of the UK. It looks like a fold together. Do you see that? Like a puzzle. Oh, so pretty. This magazine, I could lush over these things day and night. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit and lush. Look at me, I stopped talking. And anyway, Inspiration. This is the summer issue as well, I believe. 2026, issue 130. Okay, all right, and as I just mentioned, well, before I talk about the books, let me show you a few other things, because I want to save the books for last. I bought a bunch of River Silk ribbon to do some ribbon work on some needlepoint. And so I needed to get a pink and 2 greens. And while I was at it, you know me, I bought a rainbow. So for some needlepoint that I have, I'm going to be doing some ribbon stitching where it becomes 3-dimensional. And there's a piece that I fell in love with a monogram that I was waiting to come up. That was on it, that they had run out, and then they were going to do another run of the needlepoint canvas. And so I have since got that, and there was some ribbon work on there. So I bought a palette to do some flowers in ribbon stitching on my needlepoint. And I got those from Nashville Needleworks in Nashville. So I ordered from them because they have a huge selection of all kind of ribbon and things like that. Okay, where am I going to go next? Okay, then I saw this sock pattern by Pearl Soho. I don't need the sock. I just needed the pattern to do the ruffly cuff, because I'm going to do the rest in just a vanilla sock. But I wanted to make that a pair of vanilla socks with that ruffly cuff. And this sock is called the Ruffle Sock by Pearl Soho. Pearl Soho. And so I bought this pattern off their website, Pearl Soho. And then I ordered the exact yarn that they used. And it's Stormy Superwash Sock. It's 85% fine merino and 15% recycled nylon. And it's a Pearl Soho yarn. It's a fingering weight. Again, that's how you spell that. They are in New York. And that is so kind of them. When I ordered this and I bought this pattern, they sent me a sample. I was in shock. This is a free sample of good wool. And it's 100% Andean Highland wool. And so I thought, wow, what a nice gift. Let's see what weight this is. Yeah, no, this can't be used for toes, heels, and cuffs, but it could be used for something else and some color work. So they sent me a sample, a free sample. I thought that was really sweet. So I got this so I could do a set of socks, and then the ruffle sock. And I bought this all, and I got the PDF on their website and just printed it out. And then, let's see, let me bring this over here. Did I get something else there? No. Okay, I ordered this quilt. This is a quilt kit. I bought this from, my brain just went, my brain just left me. Oh, the Woolen Needle in Williamsburg, Iowa. It's right next to Amanda and Annette. I love her shop, the Woolen Needle. And would you look at this quilt kit? So it came, this is a panel, and then you do the, you just do all the blocks to go around it. And it's a celebration for the 250th. And so I bought this quilt kit. I can't remember. It shows that you can get it with a navy or a white background. I can't remember what I got. So let me pull my panel and let's see which panel I ordered. I bet you I ordered white, but I could be wrong. Nope, I ordered white instead of the dark one. So this is my center pattern panel. And then you create the quilt blocks around it and you create a quilt. And so, of course, it's our 250th and I love my country. So I thought, when I saw this, I got her newsletter and I said, I'm ordering that today. So the Woolen Needle in Iowa. And I don't know if they still have kits, but you could always check. And so it is got the America 250 by Deb Strain. The quilt kit comes with the with a layer cake, and then all the other things you need to do the background. And so I will be doing that. Nothing more fun than a quilt panel in the middle. It makes things easy. And then, of course, the pattern came with. So I bought that. And then I'm part of the Homespun Needlework group on Facebook, and they had an exclusive Susan Little 1844. And they have a stitch along going on, and it's being led by Tony. I think it's Tony, but it's spelled T-E-O-N-E. And so Tony, I'm not sure. I think I'm butchering it, but she is leading that stitch along, and this came with all of these wonderful things. I got the 40 count. It's Valley Forge by Needle and Flax, and I got the classic color work to go with. And so I'd like to get that started. So I think Colorado Cross Stitcher, I'm not sure, I can't remember, because you have to have a link from the group. You have to be a member of the group. So if you're not part of the Homespun Needlework group, go on Facebook, and it's Homespun Needlework. It should come up. Join the group, do answer the questions, and then it'll be in the featured section if they are still available. And so I got that as well. I got this kit from Blackberry Primitives. It's a Maggie Bononomy. It's called Celebrate a New Nation, and it is a wool applique piece. Do you see that? I thought that was beautiful. That'd be perfect anywhere, anytime. So I got the kit, Blackberry Primitives. And that's the name down there by Maggie Bononomy, Celebrate a New Nation. It was originally released in 2013, but they re-released it. And that's everything on that side of the table. And now I'm down to a few things here. I got a few antique things. 2 to be exact, but I brought a 3rd piece over. You know that I am a Beatrix Potter lover, and I have all of her books, antique and books that have been written about her. And I happened to be reading a blog, and I did not realize that she had another book. The book that I'm holding right here, it's called The Fairy Caravan. I didn't know a thing about this, by Beatrix Potter. And it's a book about a caravan of little, it starts out, I started reading it to the grandkids the other day, and it says, in the land of green ginger, there's a town called Marmalade, which is inhabited exclusively by guinea pigs. They are all of colors and of 2 sorts. The common and the garden guinea pig are the most numerous. They have short hair and they run errands and they twitter. The guinea pigs of the other variety are called Abyssinian cavies. They have long hair, side whiskers, and they walk upon their toes. So if that's not enough to make you want to go find it, I went and I dug for this book. I went on eBay, and then I ended up on Thrift Books, where I buy tons of books, and it's called The Fairy Caravan. There is a newer version, but you know me, I wanted the antique version. This was copyrighted. Oh, and look at the beautiful pictures, that we love so much from Beatrix Potter. This one was, its copyright is 1929. It was renewed in 1957, then newer editions in 51, 57, 66, and 75. I would presume mine's in 75, since that's listed in there, or whatever. But I wanted an old one. I didn't want a new one. So anyway, I'm enjoying reading this to the grandchildren. Okay, then I got another book. And I just happened upon it on Amazon, and I need to put down, let me write this down. I want to put a link to this for you because I know that you're going to want this. Okay, so we love to set apart our time on Sunday to do a Sunday stitch. I like to do my rose sampler, and I was encouraged by Christy from Half Pone Creek, seeing hers, and I tend to stitch on my rose sampler on Sundays. And I was on Amazon getting something else, and I saw this, and it's called Sunday Stitches. It is 52 devotionals for cross stitchers, and this is so neat. I did my very first Sunday stitch last week, and I did my devotion, and it is a Christian devotional, and it keeps in mind us as stitchers. What a neat companion. It has 52 devotionals, so you can do a Sunday stitch for a year and have a devotion with it. And so this was written by Debbie Danielson, and I looked for her all over the internet, on Instagram and Facebook, and I couldn't find her. Maybe it's just me. If you find her, will you put her a link to her down in the comments? But Sunday Stitches, 52 devotionals for cross stitchers. I love this. There's a link in the description box for you. There will be. So I got that. So it was a nice way. I grabbed my devotional and my Bible. I had my devotions, and then I sat with my stitching. I felt just so refreshed and so calmed, and it was, I felt very present, I guess is the word, because I set my mind to, that was the way it was going to be for my Sunday stitching there. So yeah, I did that. And then I will put a link for all these books below for you. But I bought this book, The Pocket, A Hidden History of Women's Lives, studying pockets and their uses in Victorian times and times before, learning so much stuff. You know, I go deep on all the things. When I get done with one topic, my little brain goes right to another. Oh, I want to know more about that. I want to know more about that. And so if you've ever wanted to know about the history and about pockets, and a hidden history, because of course they would be under the women, you wouldn't see their pockets, but they would be so decorated and stuff. If you've ever been interested in pockets, here's a book. I've just started it. I'll put a link for it below. And then the next 3 books were my curator, Catherine, at the Cincinnati Museum Center. As I said, I love it. She comes in and she'll say, have you read this book? Or we'll talk about topics. One day we were talking about symbolism, because I was telling her about my Threadworks Fair class that I'm teaching in Indiana in June. And it's a stitching meaning, and it's all on symbolism and things like that. And I was telling her the premise of it. And so she's like, you know what? There's symbolism also in, and she was talking about gravestones, and we talked about graveyards and gravestones, and oh my gosh, it was mind-blowing. It was wonderful. I love talking to her. And so whenever I'm there working, she'll come and visit me, make sure if there's anything I need, if there's anything I need help with. As a matter of fact, now they are calling in parts of their collection to help me with my, they have pieces in their collection that were donated to the Historical Society and to the museum from the family that I'm reproducing that sampler. So they're bringing those pieces to me to help me in my research and my studies. So fun. So I geek out when I'm there. But anyway, she asked me the other day, she said, have you read the Subversive Stitch? I said, no. I haven't. I haven't even seen that book. And so immediately she said, well, you can borrow my copy. I said, no, I'll buy it. So I got on and I bought this, and this is Embroidery and the Making of the Feminine. So it's about we women in our making. And so haven't started it yet because it just got in. I'm so excited to start it. But the curator of the museum suggested this in the next 2 books. So I'll put links below for you. I bought this one off of Thrift Books, and it's by Victoria Finley, and it's called Color, A Natural History of the Palette. So excited to read all about this. And then she also shared with me Cassia St. Clair, The Secret Lives of Color. Tells the unusual story of the 25 fascinating shades, dyes, and hues, from the browns that changed the way battles were fought to the white that protected against the plague, from Picasso's blue period to charcoal on the cave walls at Lascaux. And from scarlet women to Punk's industrial pink, these surprising stories run like a bright thread through history. Don't you want to read it? I do. So anyway, so I bought these 3 books because these were suggested by the curator of the museum. So I will have a link for all of those down below. And then, of course, I said I had a antique to show you, and it's a piece of Mochlin ware, and I believe that's Mochlin ware, I believe it's Mochlin, M-A-C-H. But anyway, they made wooden pieces that had to do with lots of things. They made boxes, needle cases. Well, this is a crochet thread. I'm trying to get the glare off of this from above. I can't. Anyway, you put your thread inside the ball, and then you feed it up through the top. There's actually 3 holes. So you could use this for tatting. You could use this for crochet lace. You could use this for all kind of things, but they called this crochet thread ball. And it had beautiful little flowers on it. And so I love that. So I bought this. I do crochet lace. I also do bobbin lace, all kind of things. And so those tiny little threads, they stay in here so they're not going all over the place. And I brought you another piece of the Mochlin ware that I have. This is called the Colombian Egg Needle Case Art number 930. Registered in Germany. I got this. This was said to have been given at the World's Fair. I'm not exactly sure which World's Fair. I bought this years ago, but you in the center is a stem. When you take that off, and you can pull it up, and you can have needles inside, and you twist. I have a needle in there, I think. But you can put different size needles in there. I think it's compartmentalized inside there. Place the stroke parallel with the number. So you put that near the hole. I wonder, I must have taken the needle out. But as well, so you could have your needles in there, but then you could use this as a darning egg. So anyway, this is part of my antique collection. And so my two antiques I showed you were the Beatrix Potter book and this, the Mocklin Ware crochet thread holder. And so I've made it to the end of the pile now. These are all the things I've done. These are all the things that I've bought, all the gifts that I've received, all the books that I've got, the things I'm reading, the places I've been. So that, my friends, leads us to the end of today's episode. I was so glad that you joined me here today. I do hope that I showed you something that excited you. Do go over to my Patreon and join. You can join for free. There are, right now, everything that's up, anybody can see. As I said, there are things that will be exclusive to the schoolgirls who are the paid patrons. I do have a kit that I'm preparing to release. It's not a cross stitch, it's something else, but it's a kit, and it's something that some of you have been waiting for. But you'll have to be a schoolgirl to get first dibs on that. If there's any left outside of releasing it inside of Patreon to the schoolgirls, I will put it on my website for the whole world. But if you'd like to jump over there, that will be coming very, very soon. But I think that sure does wrap it up for today. I'll put all the links down below for the things that I told you about. And but I think that'll do it for today, my friends. Thank you for joining me as always. My favorite part of all of the things I do are the community that has been made around it. You guys just bless my heart. I love when you interact with me. Do put comments down below, ask questions, and all the things. But for today and for now, I think that'll do it. But until I see you again, my friends, I wish you many happy stitches. Bye-bye for now, my friends.